of the French prostitute that he produces in 1863 entitled Olympia. Now, why don't I have Manet's Olympia here? Oh, great, okay. We know that its distinguishing qualities, the things that both caused it to generate so much controversy, but then became later on in the 20th century one of the marks of its distinction as a great modern painting, one of the first understood modern paintings, was its flatness, Manet's flattening of form, both of corporeal form and otherwise, right? The fact that there was a flattening of the form and an attention to the surface of the painting. And in turn, a shift in axis, to think about the axis of painting, right? Traditionally, from Renaissance painting on, right, the axis was perpendicular to the painting plane, right? You access from outside, and you got this perspective backwards, right? And so the axis of painting was perpendicular to the plane. Your viewing axis is perpendicular to the plane of painting, right? You were supposed to hit it straight on and recede back fictively into space through perspectival system. What Manet did was shift that axis so that it became more parallel to the surface of the painting, and you were more interested in not receding back into space perpendicularly, but moving across the very flat surface, because everything came up and flattened across this way rather than this way, right? So, and that's what we see here in Dubuffet, right? It's a further flattening, right? It's been steamrolled. Olympia's been run over, pancaked, right? So it's not about an axis perpendicular, but a parallel axis across the surface. What Rosalind Krauss argues, not in our textbook, but in another prior essay that she writes on Olympia, and in fact the exhibition catalog that she co-wrote with Yves Lemblot, called Formless. She argues that Cy Twombly shifts that axis once again. So we've got, you know, Alberti and Renaissance perspective perpendicular. Manet, parallel. Dubuffet, parallel. And then she says, with Twombly, he makes it perpendicular again. But instead of it being a perpendicular axis going from the outside of the painting into it, it's a perpendicular axis from the painting outward to us, as though there's an arrow that is now not directed from the outside perpendicular to the plane into the painting, but an arrow that is thrust out of the painting. And she makes that argument based upon what she sees as a deliberate affront to the viewer, to painting, and to the subject of Olympia by, and you really can't see it, unfortunately, very well here, you can definitely see the name Olympia. Can you make that out? Yeah. But what is hard to see, in fact, I can't even locate it here, is that amongst all of the, you know, the little hearts and the curly cues and the scratches and so forth, and this definitely looks like graffiti, right? That kind of scratching. Cy Twombly has also written the word fuck, as in fuck Olympia, meaning fuck modern painting, fuck Manet, fuck it all, right? And she says, wow, you write that in the same breath as you write Olympia, and you have thrown that arrow out from the painting to me. You've hit me with this obscenity, and you have shifted once again the axis of painting from this flatness and surface parallel back to a perpendicular. So at this time, we're grappling with all kinds of marks being made by artists. Marks that were either invisible. Here's one of Robert Rauschenberg's white paintings, and these were revolutionary, where he just applied layer after layer of house paint to create these absolutely white, monochromatic, blank canvases. Or, as we said, with the there he is in a studio with a multi-panel white painting. And there's the work itself. To this kind of mark making that he did in collaboration with John Cage, his friend and the great American avant-garde composer. The same year as the dirt painting and the erased Kooning drawing, 1953. It's an automobile tire print, right, where they took a Model A or Model T old, automobile, and John Cage drove over a set of pieces of paper tacked together with Rauschenberg pouring black paint along the way, and Cage slowly, carefully driving the tire of the automobile over the black paint to create this indexical trace of the tire print. So this kind of non-art mechanical printing, a new kind of printing.